Bitcoin is going to crash, and I'm going to tell you why. Even though I hold a master's in business administration from the University of Maryland, I do not want you to consider this financial advice. I'm going to share with you the reason why I believe Bitcoin is going to crash using what I learned while I was earning a bachelor's of science in military strategy from the United States Air Force Academy. On its surface, it's being marketed as a currency. Bitcoin is an alternative form of currency. And it's unlike gold or silver or any natural occurring resource that can be commoditized and it just occurs in the natural world. Bitcoin comes from technology. It's invented by an individual or a group of individuals. It requires technology in order to transact business. It requires computers and data centers and all the cybersecurity protocols that comes along with that in order to secure it. This Bitcoin and cryptocurrency concept as a currency has a drastic disadvantage between the other currencies that are used by other nations in the world. Take the US dollar, for example. The US dollar is the primary currency, not just of our country, but of some countries all around the world. And I believe that the reason why the US dollar and other currencies in the world are um, so powerful is because a good currency is tied to a nation. Typically, the strength of a currency is directly proportional to the strength of a nation, based on the natural resources of the nation, based on the human capital resources and the technological resources, and based on the strength of that nation's economy, that determines the strength of that nation's currency. In some countries that don't have strong economies, they adopt the US dollar because the US dollar can be used because our economy is so strong. This is the same case for any major world currency, from Asia to Europe and Africa and South America and all across the world. Countries have to decide what currency they use. When you think about the political decisions that need to be made, and you think about the economic decisions that have to be made, and the military and the government decisions that have to be made in a country, a lot of those transactions are dependent upon having a currency in order to transact business. So when you think about what makes a currency a good currency or what makes a currency legit, it's directly proportional to whether or not the country that is associated with that currency is legit. Um, just by its definition, cryptocurrency and Bitcoin has no nation. It has no culture associated with it, no lineage. It doesn't have an economy associated with it. It doesn't have land and resources associated in backing the currency. It doesn't have human capital and people that have. And it doesn't have some sort of flag or some sort of military. Bitcoin as a currency does not have a nation. There are nations that accept it as a form of currency, but it doesn't have a home in a country that has a strong nation behind it. And so when you compare it next to all the other currencies that are being used in the world that are associated with national interests and national resources and a national economy, Bitcoin fails that test and it comes in weaker than other world currencies. When, excuse me, when Bitcoin came on to the scene, it was this mythical, sort of mysterious entity. Everyone was jumping into it because it just viewed it as another investment vehicle. If you can select an investment vehicle and invest in it and make your returns and get out and use that money to do something else and essentially build wealth with a risky investment vehicle, then a lot of people will say, good on you. Just look at it as an investment vehicle. Don't overthink it. But when you think about the long-term success of a currency and the long-term financial success of a nation and the long-term financial success and financial independence that we all want to experience as individuals, we have to think long-term about the currency that we use. And when you think about the long-term value of Bitcoin and why it's allowed to go up, there's this concept of scarcity. They say that Bitcoin, there's only a certain amount of Bitcoins that can be mined and can be created. And because there's some scarcity, then the value is going to continue going up and up and up and up. But this concept of scarcity is not a long-term view or a um, long-term concept that is going to give Bitcoin long-term value. There's a lot of things out there that are scarce that are not worth very much money. Just because something is scarce, there's at some point there was horse and buggies that just roamed the streets, and we used to travel around and pretty much be a horse-drawn society. But there's a lot less horses in our economy. There's a lot less uh, buggies on the road, and just because horses and buggies are more scarce than they were, it does not mean that they've increased in value. Similarly, you can just take a lot of different cases, but just because something is scarce doesn't mean it's going to have high value in the long term. There may be instances in a market when you think about an economy where a product that has inelastic demand increases in value because of the scarcity associated with it. Let's take, for example, gas prices. There may be times when there's a disruption at a refinery or there's a war in the Middle East, and it causes the supply of gas to decrease. And then, as a ripple effect, because there's less gas, then okay, then the gas prices will go up. But they'll only go up temporarily because it's just as any market works. Eventually, if the gas prices are too high, we're going to begin to look for alternatives and we're going to change the way that we live. And eventually, gas prices will stop peaking and they'll stabilize at a much lower value. That's the case with Bitcoin. The people that are able to invest in Bitcoin, hopefully they don't need the money, but it's because they hope that they're going to get a high rate of return and they're going to be able to get out before it crashes, which is what is driving up the value. People know subconsciously that it's going to crash, and then you have to get in, get their money, and get out. And everyone is waiting for that last moment of being able to capture the most value before they get out. And behind the scenes of all of this, there's been this mysterious, very hush hush, uh, a concept that justifies the creation of Bitcoin. Whenever something enters the marketplace, it has to have a reason. It has to have a need. It has to have some need that it is fulfilling. And when you think about Bitcoin, the need that it is fulfilling is it's another currency. It's a means to transact business, but what type of business? Just recently, we learned in the Epstein files that Epstein and his friends were the primary investors, allegedly, of Bitcoin. They're the ones that thought up the idea and worked extremely hard to make it successful. They had to market aggressively and build up the hype and obviously pump up the transactions so that regular people who are working 9 to 5 feel comfortable about taking a risk on this new technology. But you have to ask yourself, what would a wealthy man like our friend Epstein, what would a wealthy man and the people that he's friends with, why would they need another form of currency? Many of these men and women are, I'm not sure as well, there are women as well. So many of these men and women are in the highest positions in companies, the highest positions in government, the highest positions in non-government agencies. Many of these people are already in senior positions and positions of influence in countries all around the world. So if they needed to transact business, they could transact business in either their home country's currency, like the US dollar or the British pound or the euro, or any other currency around the world. You have to ask yourself, why would someone like Epstein and his friends need another form of currency in order to transact business? I find it interesting that at the same time that they're developing and investing and marketing this Bitcoin and trying to make it as popular as possible so that it is as liquid as possible. At the same time, the major banks are deciding to not support and debank and close the accounts of Epstein and some of his associates, allegedly. And with the closing and the lack of support from some of the biggest banks in the United States of America, now it becomes clear why someone in Epstein's position and his friends would need another form of currency. There are some massive transactions that Bitcoin can support. And these transactions can be viewed as investments. They don't have to be viewed as direct payments to individuals. And so, if you're in a foreign country and you want to do some dirty business with Epstein, and he requires a certain amount of money in order to make it happen, either for him to manipulate someone so that they can get information, or if you want him to use his considerable influence to influence an election or to change a government policy, there's a lot of money that has to be transacted in order for that level of business to take place. And Bitcoin is just the currency that is going to allow someone somewhere in a country around the world to make that transaction without getting caught by sanctions, without getting caught by the laws in their country, without getting caught by the accountants. They could view it as an investment that they write off, and who knows, they may even get a tax write-off for it. The fact that these Epstein files are becoming more and more popular by the day, and directly in direct response to it, you see the price of Bitcoin going down. I find it very interesting that the more knowledge and the more light that is shined upon Epstein's and his friends' early transactions and early support of Bitcoin, and the public backlash around his activities and the damage that he has done to our society and to our government and to our economy, is directly proportional to the speed at which Bitcoin is selling off. I believe that the reason why Bitcoin is going to crash is because regular people like me and you are going to wake up and realize that Bitcoin has no nation and it stands in opposition to every good, well meaning, freedom loving country and nation all around the world. And people like me and you are going to wake up to understand that holding Bitcoin and investing in Bitcoin means that you are supporting men and women who are corrupting governments, who are hurting our economy, and who are living a life of luxury while everyone else around them is expected to struggle. They don't follow any rules. They believe that they don't have to. And they view us as suckers for being good, upstanding, moral, honest individuals who want to work for a living, who want to take care of our family, and who want to provide a better quality of life for our children. They think that we're suckers for believing in love and wanting to find, maintain, and nurture the type of love that lasts a lifetime. They think our definition of loyalty is naive. They don't believe that we should be loyal to the soil. They have no allegiance to any country. I've seen too much information come out about these Epstein files. I understand that he had no loyalty. The only thing that he was loyal to was his money, his greed. And that's what people like me and you, just regular people, when we wake up and we see what Bitcoin is at its heart, it is corrupt. and it supports corrupt activities. And those corrupt activities, they're not victimless crimes. They corrupt our society. These activities corrupt our economy. They corrupt our government. They're the reason why our government is malfunctioning right now. These men and women, this group of people who are working to corrupt our society must be stopped. This is why I'm creating a movement to change the economy so that men, women, and children of every ethnicity can experience prosperity and live in harmony. Now, I know this movement is not for everyone, not at this stage. Some people are going to wait. Some people need to wait until we are very popular, until we win every election in every single state, until we show them and demonstrate to them that we are the best chance that they have to change their life. In the meantime, I want to be very clear here. This is not for everyone. This is for the people who are struggling in this economy and trying to make it work. This is for the people who are trying to get ahead and are having a hard time getting ahead because the prices are going up faster than the wages that they're making. These are the people who are trying to generate wealth and create a legacy that will last for a whole generation. This is for the people who want to improve the quality of life for their children and cannot wait for the next election. They cannot wait for the next rich guy to stand up and say, I'll do everything for you. I'll fix every problem. I'll solve everything that needs to be solved. We cannot wait for those people. This is for the people out there who still believe in love and want to find, maintain, and nurture healthy relationships. This is for the people who want to build a strong community. This isn't for everybody. This isn't for the people who don't believe in love and don't want healthy relationships and don't believe in marriage and don't want to have a family and don't want to belong to a community. This isn't for you. This movement that I'm building is for the people who want to belong to a community that is supportive and nurturing and healthy and happy. This is for the people who want to be about that action. This isn't for the people who are lazy. This isn't for everybody. This is for the people out there who want to create a legacy that will last for thousands of years. This is for the people who want to live with fulfillment and have more contentment in their life. This is for the people who want to live a life that has meaning. This is for the people out there who want to experience happiness and joy and who want to feel good about going to work. This is for the people who want to be a better version of themselves. This is for the people out there who want to manifest. This isn't for everybody. This isn't for everybody. I know it's not for everybody. This isn't for the people who are cynics, who don't believe, who have to wait until the last moment in order to get on board and stand with us. This isn't for everybody. This isn't for the people who want to lie, steal, and cheat. This isn't for the people who have bad character and bad morals. This isn't for the people who are going to sell their soul for $100 million. This isn't for everybody. This movement to change the economy so that men, women, and children of every ethnicity can experience prosperity and live in harmony is not for everybody. This is only for the people who understand the idea of freedom. This isn't for everybody. This is for the people who understand the idea of America. This is for the people who understand and have a mind that can understand our patriotic spirit. This isn't for everybody. This is for the people who want to earn a living. This is for the people who want to change society and want to work toward it. This is for the people who want to work as a team. This isn't for everybody. This isn't for the people who are selfish and greedy. This is for the people who are selfless and who are self-starters and who are about that action. This isn't for everybody. This is for the people who love and who want to belong to a community. This isn't for everybody. This is for the people who hate and who have nothing good and positive to bring to the world. This isn't for the people who just want to work out there by themselves and not work together to solve problems that other people couldn't solve. This isn't for everybody. This is for the people who want to work and sacrifice and fight for freedom. This isn't for everybody. This isn't for the people who are lazy. This isn't for the people who don't want to sacrifice. This isn't for the people who don't want to fight for what they believe in. This isn't for everybody. This movement that we are creating is a movement that is going to change the economy so that men, women, and children of every ethnicity can experience prosperity. We're talking about freedom here. This isn't for everybody. It's not for everybody. So don't feel bad if you can't understand the words that I'm saying, if you can't receive the message that I'm sending, if it's not resonating in your heart, don't feel bad because this isn't for everybody. There's going to be a time where millions and millions and millions of people will join us and will stand with us and march with us. We can't wait for those times, but at this point, when we are setting everything up, when we are preparing the ground, when we are organizing the initial team, this isn't for everybody. Right now, we're looking for candidates that are good candidates that are going to be loyal to the soil. This isn't for everybody. This isn't for the people who are willing to sell out at the first chance of inconvenience. This isn't for the people who don't want to roll up their sleeves and get to work. This isn't for the people who are waiting for the world to change around them and want everyone else to do something for them. This isn't for everybody. This isn't for everybody. So my friends, if this is you, if you're ready for things to change, if you are ready to roll up your sleeves and get to work, support this channel. I'm bringing together people just like you who are ready to make this happen now. All right, I'll see you in the next video.